Even though there's not enough money to go around to every student in the U.S., the president should begin to pay more attention to all of the students going in debt while trying to pay for a quality education. Increasing national debt levels has become a large problem when, in fact, the number one cause for individual debt in the nation is student loans. It used to be that college enrollment was optional. A person could live a good life with a decent job with only a high school diploma. Fast forward 50 years, and boy, have times changed. A college education has become almost required to live the lives we all want and need. This led to colleges upping their prices and therefore causing students to borrow more and more money through student loans. It sure is great we have banks to support us in this situation, right?
Wrong. As teenagers, we tend to borrow more money than what is really needed to get through college, and in result are left in debt. And sadly but surely, many do not even get to the desired job they went to school for because they are forced to abandon it for a less desired job to pay off their debt.
My name is Shelly Hall, and I am one of the financial aid coordinators here at Northwest Kansas Technical College.
So, if I'm a student who needs help paying for college, would you be the person I would meet with?
I would be one of the two. There's also one other financial aid coordinator in our office, and her name is Penny Nemechek, so you could see either of us.
Would you say that a majority of students attending Northwest Tech have needed some amount of financial aid to attend school?
I would most definitely say that probably 98, almost 100% of our students receive some sort of financial aid, whether it be from federal, financial aid to athletic aid, from letter of intent scholarships to private scholarships that they've brought from their own, hometowns or something like that. But I would say probably 98, close. I would say right up there to 100% of your students receive some sort of aid.
Is the process for applying to financial aid, in your opinion, easy, or do you think it could be easier from a student's perspective?
If you think of in terms of actually filling out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, it used to be, in my case, easier. This year, they made some changes to it, and as far as how to log in and set up your profile, and you have to go through a process of getting a username and ID. That's a lot different. So I think that's brought some difficulties to it, but it's most definitely not easy not difficult if you have your, if you know your social, know your birthday, all that kind of stuff. That should be memorized. But if you have your parents' tax information with you and your tax information, from there on, it's just a matter of punching in numbers. So if you think of in terms of outside scholarships, private scholarships, that might be a little more difficult depending upon their procedures and what they want you to do as a recommendation from maybe teachers, professors, anything like that. That might be a bit harder. But to me, the process of what makes it difficult is finding it, finding the money, finding those scholarships, finding what schools offer different types of aid. But as far as the FAFSA goes, very simple, process. Everyone does the same thing, and that in and of itself is pretty easy. So,
once a student receives financial aid, do you feel it becomes of help to a student, or does it end up being a debt that will be difficult to repay?
Say that one more time.
After a student receives aid, whether it be one of those sources, will it be helpful or a debt that's difficult to repay? Is it like a loan?
Okay, so if you're thinking in terms of student loans, the process of repaying a student loan is not difficult at all. I mean, it's just a matter of being on top of it, knowing who your loan servicer is. And luckily here at our schools, we're a small school, so you're going to get that one-on-one time where we kind of sit you down and say, okay, here's the people that you're going to be repaying. After that, it's kind of up to you to go through them, set up a payment plan. The cool thing about student loans is it's not like, if I were to go out to a bank and get a loan, there's one payment plan, and they tell me how much I'm going to pay, Federal student loans let you kind of choose your payment plan. So there's different options. You can do a standard repayment plan, which is going to be a 10-year plan where you have a fixed amount of money that you pay for 10 years. There's a graduated plan where, with jobs come maybe promotions, making more money. When you start out your entry level positions, your pay rate might be lower than what it would be 10 years down the road. So a graduated payment plan lets you start at a smaller number and then increase that number over time. 10 years would be the repayment terms there too. There's also extended plans which go on to a 25-year plan. You have to have at least $30,000 though in student loan debt in order to repay that.
This interview is with the financial advisor at Northwest Tech in Goodland, Kansas. The student body at a technical college, such as Northwest Tech, is a fraction of the size of a state's university student body. At larger schools, you won't have as much one-on-one time with an advisor, making it a much more difficult process. Another thing to keep in mind is how much more a large university costs. More costs can lead to students biting off more than they can chew. They make their payment plans too steep for entry-level jobs. This is how students fall into debt.
Has to happen. The Senate needs to pass something. The Senate tried two bills. One was the Senate Republican bill, which was to use the 10-year treasury as well, use a different percentage. It failed. And then the House Democrats, Mr. Harkin, had a bill that would have just kicked the can for 2 more years, kept it 3.4, used some taxes to pay for it. And I don't think that's the right solution. In fact,
So this is why we need you to address this, Mr. President. With the Senate attempting to fix this problem twice already, and failing both times, this is a problem that needs to be on your agenda. We, as soon-to-be college students, hope you will address this issue soon.